Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I have another art unboxing, and it's a first-time purchase from an art rep. It's a Berserker Art, and every time I see their name or I'm on their site, I think of that scene from Clerks. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, that's what goes through my head, that song, every time I'm at their site and I get loaded up. Anyway, so we got some art here. He's based out of London, I think, England. Yeah, so this arrived not too long ago. Finally getting a chance to open it up, and we'll talk about it. And it's yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, true to, since this is the stuff that I'm buying and the videos are based on my purchases. My purchases have been kind of focused on one area of comics currently, and this is no exception. So let's see here. We have I've never owned any art from this artist before, and I was actually not familiar with his art until he was announced for this title that I purchased art from. And he had a lengthy run with, so it's fun to kind of see when you look at, artists who get announced for projects, and you see, you kind of connect the dots as to how they may have become associated with a certain project. And so this artist was an artist that he I'm gonna say this. So he did a lengthy run on an image book that I had not read before. But with Joshua Williamson, who was the writer of that series. And the series was called Birthright, and I think they're associated. It's a sequel then was called Dark Ride, I think. But anyway, so Birthright was a 50-issue series. Joshua Williamson was the writer, like I said. And of course, Williamson wrote Duke. I see where I'm going with this. So he wrote the Duke miniseries, and he wrote the Cobra Commander miniseries, and then he also is now going to be the writer on the main G.I. Joe title with Tom Riley on the art. So this is Andre Bresson is the artist, and he's the artist on the Destro series. So the first batch of miniseries was Duke and Cobra Commander, and then Destro made appearances in both of those series, and then this takes it one step further. It kind of progresses his story a little further. So I have two pieces of art from the series. We'll start with this one. Yeah. So in the series, what I find really interesting, and I've always kind of found this interesting about the dynamic of the Cobra faction in G.I. Joe. Cobra is a bunch of characters who they don't like each other. There's factions that don't get along. They don't like each other. Cobra Commander and Destro are always kind of vying. Cobra Commander is exerting his authority over Destro, and Destro is always like, "Yo, I don't work for you. I work with you, but I don't work for you." And that's always how it's kind of been. And Destro in the lore is the weapons supplier. So he kind of creates all the weapons for Cobra, the vehicles, guns, and whatnot. And that has taken an interesting. So having the Energon Universe, having Destro and Cobra Commander's kind of their relationship starts in the Cobra Commander miniseries. But what I like about it, the twist is that Cobra Commander has Energon, which is like the fuel for Autobots, Decepticons, all the Transformers, and Cobra Commander now wants to use it for weapons, and of course he kind of goes to somebody who produces weapons, and that's Destro. So Destro has Energon infused weapons, so that's how their partnership kind of begins in this shared universe. So. In the Destro miniseries, there's one scene that I really enjoyed. I mean, I enjoyed the book as a whole, but one particular scene, and that's a scene that represents that dynamic between Cobra Commander and Destro. And so this is page 11 of issue 1. And it's a page where Cobra Commander and Destro have a scene together. This is the second page of that 2-page sequence. And essentially what's happening is in the beginning of the issue, Destro aids the in the revolution of a country called Darklonia. And he helps the revolutionaries overthrow the government, and he installs his cousin as their leader. So he uses the bats, the battle android troopers that are Energon infused. He uses those in the revolution. So Cobra Commander takes issue with that. He said, you're bringing too much attention to Cobra, and you can't do this. Like, this is not. I'm not ready for this to kind of these battle android troopers to be out there. You got to stop it. And Destro essentially saying, like, look, I don't work for you. Like, I will supply these weapons for you, but I don't. I'm the head of Mars Industries, which is the weapons supplier, and I'm not Cobra. So he's like, I can do what I want. And in this scene, what I love is, like, they're having their back and forth and their power struggle, the work on them. They're showcasing the dynamic they're showcasing the dynamic that they have. And Cobra Commander's trying to say, like, he's trying to again assert his authority. And Destro says, look, I don't work for you, and then just hangs up on Cobra Commander. And that's such a classic interaction between the two, and I love that about this scene. And so I also really enjoy Andre Bresson's art. I wasn't sure what to think. Some of the some of the preview pages, I'm not entirely sold on how he draws some of the characters. But I really enjoyed how he draws Destro, and uses works the way he draws the metal sheen of Destro's helmet mask. I have a feeling that he was kind of Andre was kind of feeling out the characters, which you see a lot when somebody starts coming onto a project. I'm in the first issue. I was not sold on specifically how he drew Tomax and Xamot, the twins, and they're just some not my favorite. They're kind of stylized, not my favorite look. But in issue 2 just came out this week, and I feel like there's much improved the way that the twins are drawn. So I'm going to chalk it up to as just kind of feeling out the characters. But like I said, how we drew Destro, I really enjoyed that. So so this is the first page, the first piece that I got from the series, and really enjoyed this one. There is at the bottom of there's the two screens in the issue. There's Cobra logos, which I would like to see them on the screen, but I don't. It wasn't a deal breaker to have blank screens on the actual finished art. So so that's the first piece that I got, and then the second piece was this is really love this one. This is the cover for issue 2. So in the story, what the story sets it up to be is that the end of issue 1 starts. There's an attack on Destro is hosting like an arms black market arms fair convention, and they are attacked. And the two people that are not there are the twins, Tomax and Xamot. So it sets up the fact that they're the ones that are attacking Destro to kind of weaken his company, to then bolster their own company, who they're working as mercenaries and their own weapons. They have the Crimson Guard. So it's setting it up that it's them attacking Destro, and then they start their own war between those two factions. And I mean, if I had to guess where this is leading, is that it's Cobra Commander behind it. It's Cobra Commander orchestrating, pitting the twins against Destro, and so that kind of weakens both of those companies, so that they are then forced to turn to Cobra Commander to work with him. And that's where I think that's going to lead into the G.I. Joe series and the full formation of Cobra. But anyway, so that said, what I like about this is that the cover is representative of the story. So it's Destro, a frustrated Destro with his battle android troopers that are, you know, destroyed. It kind of, there's a great kind of Terminator vibe to these. In issue 2, there's some really fun scenes where there are some kind of half destroyed bats that are activated, and it has this kind of like zombie robot feel, which is really fun. But it's the visual representation is in Destro's mind. It is Tomax and Zaymot who are behind the attack, and then the cover itself represents that. So there's Destro, there's the destroyed bats, and then behind that, literally behind all of that, is the twins. So I love the what this story, what the cover, the story that the cover tells. Let alone having a cool image of Destro, the half destroyed bats, and then you get the twins on there as well. So if this is, we haven't seen the cover to issue 5 yet, but this actually was my favorite cover of the solicited cover so far. The first one was good. I liked the first cover to Destro. There's some, you know, it's him and his like a throne with all these weapons around. There's some, you know, a hint to the Transformers around there. But I liked this one more. I thought this is a very visually interesting cover, and the issue 1 is definitely it feels like a promotional pinup, which is nice. But I you know, I don't want a broken record, but I love the story that this one tells, and plus, you know, half destroyed androids. That's pretty fun. And in the cover, it's up there as well, but they're surrounded by fire, and it's just like a great kind of powerful image. So of the covers, this is the one that I really was hoping to get. So yeah. So again, they're still pages, and I thought these were all reasonably priced. They're in you know, the current trend of having high profile key books, and this is a, you know, there are only a couple miniseries that are leading into the G.I. Joe series, so each one of these are a pretty high profile series, and to have pages that were this reasonably priced, I thought that was great. So I'll put the link down in the description as far as with the website. There's still some really good pages that are available from issue 1. Issue 2 is not listed yet, but yeah, there's still some stuff from issue 1. Yeah, so I'm a fan. I'm actually, it makes me, and this is another fun thing about you know, discovering artists like this. It makes me want to go, because I hadn't read anything. I don't think I'd read anything of Joshua Williamson's before I read Duke. I might have. Oh no, that's not true. I read the he did the Night Terrors Superman 2-issue tie-in, and I really only read that. I didn't read the Night Terrors the event. Had no real interest in that, but Tom Riley did the art for that those 2 issues, so naturally those I did pick up because I'm a Tom Riley fan. So but yeah, so this introduced me to Joshua Williamson, and then Andre Bressan's art. Williamson did not write Destro. I don't know. I know I'm kind of jumping around, but just to make it clear, and I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Dan Waters. That's what it is. It's Dan Waters wrote the is writing the Destro series, which is fun. I mean, I really enjoy that series as well. But anyway, point being, introduced to Williamson's work through mainly through G.I. Joe, and then Bressan's art through Destro. It makes me want to go back and read the Birthright series, which is it's a 50-issue series, and you know, I like that it's 50 issues, but there's a beginning and an end, and you know, that makes me want to check that out. So yeah. Anyway, let's throw this up here again, and then this one. So yeah, there's 2 more pieces to the the Energon Universe collection that I continue to have a lot of fun with. And how do I want to say this? Like, I try to, when I make purchases, if I'm kind of going kind of heavy in the Energon Universe stuff, but I believe in it. I believe in the properties have both been around for 30, 40 years. And the sales have been really good on all of these series. Each G.I. Joe series, the sales the pre-orders have gone up. So while I also love it, I think it's a good buy for the future, and that's something that I don't know that I talk about a lot. But like, there are things that I think of when I buy art. Like, if I had to sell this, tomorrow, could I get back what I paid for it? I probably could. And I feel like that's, doesn't always have to be in the back of your mind, but I think it helps that, that if it is a higher profile, and it's not like another Batman series or another Superman series, which are fun, but this is like, the G.I. Joe and Transformers comics that are so far have been pretty universally praised. So anyway, just a slight justification, just sharing my thought in why, like, a lot of the purchases that I make are like Tom Riley Duke pages and now some Destro stuff. So I mean, naturally, I'm going to be looking after the G.I. Joe stuff when that comes out. I have the Transformers, the Daniel Warren Johnson page. I may have some other Transformers pages in the works. But yeah, so I'm really having fun with the stories and the art in all of these series. So yeah, what can I say? I'm kind of fanboying out on the nostalgia of Transformers and G.I. Joe. So, but it's also producing some really cool art. So that's tough to. It's like a perfect storm of factors. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this one, and I will see you soon.